Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So today's video is going to be kind of a life update. We have been getting a lot of the same questions over and over again in the comments lately, stuff that you guys have been really curious about and we haven't entirely addressed yet. So I thought that what I would do is just sit down really quickly and answer those questions. Like I said, it seems to be the same couple of things over and over again. So I just wanted to kind of fill you guys in on where we are at. Mostly things pertaining to homeschooling, what we're doing about our car situation, the room situation for the kids, that kind of thing. So I'm just gonna quickly jump in and fill you guys in on all of that stuff. All right, so we get asked constantly about homeschooling. Are the girls still homeschooling? What's our plan? What are we doing? You know, all that kind of stuff. So the Kennedy and Shelby are still homeschooling. If you guys haven't noticed, first of all, we mostly just vlog on the weekends. And we haven't been vlogging during the week because there's not much going on. Our routine is very boring and the same. And you know, in my third trimester of a twin pregnancy. So, you know, vlogging during the week hasn't been something that we've done a whole lot. But Kennedy and Shelby are still homeschooling. You guys noticed that we took the schoolroom out of the playroom area and made that one big playroom. There's lots of reasons we did that, but all of their school, first of all, we have a huge closet in there that houses most of their curriculum and stuff, especially like games and science stuff, bigger stuff. But then we have a big like buffet type thing in the kitchen. And all of those drawers, all of that is full of their school stuff. So we found that they were enjoying it better and it was just easier when we were doing school like at the kitchen table in there where they could kind of be a part of, you know, what's going on if I'm doing dishes or whatever. It's just worked better for us. We didn't find that we needed an entire room dedicated to school for the two of them. And so they store their computers and their paperwork and everything in there and in those drawers so it can be put away, pulled out when we need it, and put back. We did toy with the idea of sending them to school this fall because with the twins coming. But after talking about it and talking to them about it, asking them, you know, obviously we give them input as well, and looking into, you know, our options and that kind of thing, we did decide that we are going to continue homeschooling. For Kennedy and Shelby, they will be homeschooled and, you know, they will continue being homeschooled this coming school year. That is something we are all really comfortable with. We are going to have to rearrange our schedule a little bit, obviously, based on the twins being born. The good news is, and something I don't know that we've ever talked about here, my husband gets a very, for the US, not necessarily for other countries, but for the US, he gets a very nice paternity leave. So he has the option to take a pretty long time. We're at this point, depending on when the babies come and all of that stuff, our plan is for him to take 8 weeks. So he will be home with me for the first 2 months after the girls are born. After the twins are born, he will be home for the first 8 weeks. So that will be amazing as far as having time for me to heal, especially because if you watched my recent pregnancy update, there's a really good chance that I'm going to end up having a C-section. So it'll give me time to heal, time for us to get back into a routine, into a schedule as much as you can. So we feel really good about that. And he's going to help, you know, with the initial start of school for the girls, getting them going and stuff like that. He does help with some of their schoolwork from time to time. So that's what's going on with that. So fret not, they are still being schooled and the plan is to continue homeschooling them for this year. As far as Noah and Rosie go, Noah and Rosie and Jonah have all been in preschool this last year. We've decided to put Noah and Rosie both into school. So we entered them in a couple of different lotteries and there's various reasons why. And this is kind of the hard part about being on YouTube and putting your family out there in that way, is that there's a lot of things about our family and about our kids that we don't share with you guys. So sometimes it might make decisions we make look kind of funny, like, well, why would you homeschool Kennedy and Shelby but not Noah and Rosie? First of all, Rosie, I feel will better be served in a public school or hopefully, fingers crossed, charter school environment where she can get some extra services and help that she needs in order to be successful in her education, things that I don't feel confident at this point that I can provide her. Noah as well. Again, we just don't talk a whole lot about this kind of stuff, but and for privacy reasons for him and everything, but he has some learning disabilities and things that make going to public school or hopefully to this charter school a better option for him than being homeschooled right now. Not to say that we won't ever bring him home and homeschool him, but for right now, going to school in either public school or charter school is the best option for both him and Rosie. So that is what we are doing. Like I said, I know everybody doesn't always understand, especially when you have kids that are, some of them are in public school, some of them are homeschooled, so, you know, different things. People kind of don't always understand, but we do what's best for our kids, and we will continue to do that whether people understand or agree. With that said, Jonah will be home this year. He will not be going back to preschool this year, which is why in that one of my vlogs recently I talked about, you know, we're not coming back to preschool. We love that preschool. We love the teachers. It's nothing like that. It's a simple matter of time. I unfortunately am not going to be able to do drop-offs and pickups at 2 different schools at 2 different times with twins in tow, you know, with babies in tow, trying to do all those car lines and stuff. Kennedy and Shelby did preschool at home. They did not go to a traditional preschool. And so for this year, at least, Jonah will be doing preschool at home. So Kennedy and Shelby will be doing their curriculum, and then Jonah will be doing preschool at home. He's 3, be turning 4. So it's pretty simple. I don't go crazy overboard with preschool stuff. So it's pretty simple what he needs to learn. And honestly, he already knows. He knows a lot. He's a very smart kid. He picks stuff up very quickly. So not worried about that. As a matter of fact, Kennedy and Shelby have said, can we help you with Jonah's preschool? Can we help you teach him? And I'm like, sure, why not? So, so it's great. They want to get involved. They want to help him. And I think it will be awesome and fine and good, and we're very comfortable and excited with kind of all of our schooling choices this coming year for all the kids. And yes, of course, it will be hectic and chaotic with schedules and twins. And I mean, guys, we're about to have 7 kids. Like, that's just life. So I feel like sometimes people are like, oh, how are you gonna do it? I mean, look at Nikki Lynn. She has, I've told you guys about her channel before, A Farmhouse Full. I love her. She's like my mama inspiration. She has 8 kids that she homeschools, and they are varying ages and stuff like that. Like, if you have a big family, you can understand how, you know, sometimes things are chaotic, but you make it work. And it works. You just figure it out and it works. So I'm not worried about it. You guys shouldn't be either. We're all going to be okay. We're all going to do what's best for everybody in our family. So that's the update on the school situation. Now, the other thing we've been getting asked a ton, pretty much every time we vlog is, what are you going to do about a car? Oh, you can't all fit in your car. No, we can't. We cannot fit 9 people into an 8-passenger car. Here's the thing. The type of car that we need to buy is not the kind of car that's just sitting on every car lot. It's something that's the type that we want, is a little harder to find. There's certain things, especially because we know that this will be a long-term car for us. There are certain things, certain features and things we want in the car. So we're having to kind of hunt it down. We're having to just kind of watch and wait and look for a good deal on it, on what we're looking for. So it's not just something we're just going to run out and be like, okay, here we go up to the Nissan dealership to buy this car. We're looking for the right car with the right features and all of that, and it may require us, from what we're seeing, to kind of travel a little bit of a ways to get it. We are not in a super big hurry. That may sound crazy, but we do have 2 vehicles. So, and my husband will be home for the first 2 months that the twins, after they're born. So if we all needed to go somewhere all at the same time, we could. It's not that we can't. We can. We would just have to take 2 cars if we don't get a car before they're born. We're working on it. We just obviously want to make a smart financial decision and a smart decision with the car and that kind of thing. So it's just not something we're just going to fly out and do instantly. We're still kind of on the hunt and working that out. So fear not, we are getting a bigger car. We are looking at 2 different types of vehicles. We're looking at the Nissan NV as well as a Ford Transit. So those are the 2 different types of vehicles. They are considered passenger vans, in case you're curious. The ones that we're looking at are, I believe, both 12 passengers. And while obviously we don't need all those seats, it'll be nice to have extra seats so that, like, when if I want to go pick up my sister's kids, if the kids want to take their cousins somewhere, stuff like that, we can add more people, fit more people when my husband's mother comes to visit and that kind of thing, and we go on camping trips, and it'll be nice to have the extra space. So yes, it's technically bigger than we need, but there really isn't much in between. It's kind of like 8 passenger and then you jump to like a 12 passenger type thing. And lastly, the other thing we've been getting asked about a ton is what are we going to do about the room situation and the kids and the nursery and all that kind of stuff? Because as you guys know, as it stands now, or up until this weekend, Kennedy and Shelby share a room, and then the 3 little kids, Noah, Jonah, and Rosie, all 3 have had their own rooms, and that's all been fine. So now it was kind of one of those things where we had to decide who was going to move in and bunk together so that we could make a room for the twins. And while initially you might think, well, duh, obviously put Noah and Jonah together and give Rosie her own room and then the twins their room. It was a little harder to come to because again, certain things that happen and issues that go on with our kids that we don't talk about on camera and stuff like that. But one of those things is that Noah he doesn't sleep. The kid does not sleep. He is up really late and up really early in the morning. We really struggled with the idea of putting him and Jonah together because we didn't want them to keep each other up. Putting them in together was like, this could be a nightmare. But ultimately that's what we did. That's what we decided to do. So we did that this weekend, and it actually so far has gone pretty well. So we moved them both into Noah's room. And we moved, because the room that Rosie had is actually the biggest. She doesn't have anything in there but a bed. So we shuffled rooms around. Noah and Jonah are together in a room now, and then Rosie has moved into Jonah's room, and then what was Rosie's room is now going to become the twins' room. So far it's going well. I mean, last night we had to like quiet the boys a bunch of times last night when we put them to bed. It's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for them to figure out how to fall asleep with someone else in the room with them that they like want to get up and play with. And now we've started to work on the twins' room. I have a bunch of the decor stuff, and I still need to get the cribs and dresser. I already kind of have the theme, and I've ordered some stuff from Etsy, like little mobiles and nameplate things, and I have sheets and rugs and all that kind of stuff. So I just have a couple little things I need to get for their room, and I think this coming weekend we're going to paint in there and start kind of getting things set up and organized so that we have a place to store all of their stuff. So that is kind of the room situation. Kennedy and Shelby are sharing, Noah and Jonah are sharing, Rosie has her own room, and the twins will have their room. Obviously they won't be in it for the first little bit. They're going to be in our room, but eventually they'll have their room to be in. So hopefully that answers all the questions. Those are kind of the big questions I feel like we've just been getting over and over and over again, was about school, a new car, and where we were putting the babies and how we were going to arrange all that. So hopefully I've answered all of that stuff for you guys, giving you a little update on what's going on with all of that. Like I said, I will be doing a nursery tour when all that stuff is finished, and as it progresses I might start filming my pregnancy updates in there because I'm sure I'll be excited to be in there. But yeah, that's kind of everything that's going on. I hope y'all are having an awesome week. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys again very soon. Bye.